Hello and welcome again to Moodle Training for DL staff. In this video we're going to talk about activity reports and all the different logs and user activity reports that Moodle offers us. These allow us to see what a user has done when they've logged in and what they've done each time they've logged in. So to get started, I'm going to enter a course. I'm going to enter the training course for this Moodle training. So if you log in, scroll down to the very bottom of the list of courses in which you're enrolled. Click on the KET training course. So we're going to look at this training course in this video, but the things we talk about will apply to any course inside of Moodle. To access the activity reports, look at the left side of the screen in the administration block, and there's a node on it called Reports. If you click it, it will expand. So these are all the different activity reports that Moodle offers. The important thing to note about the way Moodle logs things is that everything that happens in the Moodle system on our website, on our Moodle site, is logged by Moodle. Every activity that you access, every submission attempt, every time you log in, every time you put the wrong password and fail to log in, everything we do is logged. This is, of course, for just for security purposes and for the completion of our records. So this applies to every user of our site, whether it's a student, facilitator, visitor, teacher, administrator, whoever. So how do you access these logs? How do you look and see what people have done on the website or in this course? Well, from here. We're going to look at each of these in this video. Let's begin with the one that just says logs. So we'll click on that. The logs is probably the most useful report that you'll want to look at. You'll probably look at this the most often. Use this report anytime you want to see when a student has logged on, or how often they've logged on, or you wonder, when was the last time they did log on? And also, it will tell you what they did when they were logged in. So just a wealth of information this report will show for us. So when you first click on it, notice we've got a couple of different options here. The first drop-down box will tell us which course we're looking at. We'll leave that alone since we want to see logs that pertain to this course. This all participants drop-down box, you can leave it at all participants, and it will show you log records for all of the students and facilitators and users enrolled in this course, including you if you're enrolled in this course. Oftentimes, though, we want to just look at a single user's activity. For example, Sally, student here, we can select her and just see what she's done in the course. Now, this next box, you can select what day you want to look at. If there's a particular day you want to see, what did she do on May 27th, you can select that day. Usually, though, we'll just leave it at all days to see all of her activity in the course. You can also limit the report to a particular assignment. If you see, how many times has she tried activity 29E? And if you select that, the report will just bring up log records that pertain to activity 29E. We're just going to leave it at all activities to see all of her activity in this log. Now the last two drop-down boxes down here refer to the kind of activity that Sally did. Okay, usually you'll leave these alone, but the actions, students will typically view things or update things if they're updating an attempt on a quiz or submitting an assignment. Creating and deleting refer to creating activities or other resources in the course. For example, when you as a teacher or tutor are producing the course, are preparing it, building it, or changing it, you'll see you'll be doing creating and deleting actions. We'll just leave that at all actions for this report. Finally, educational level. In this report, Moodle offers the option to limit this report according to the teaching level or the participating level. For now, I'll leave it at the default. And finally, I'll click Get These Logs. So Moodle has loaded in a table all of the log records pertaining to Sally student for all days in the whole course and for all activities. So you'll see this row right here is one record. The records are displayed in reverse chronological order, so the most recent activity is shown at the top, and as you scroll down, the activity gets older and older. Okay, oftentimes there will be enough records that Moodle will create more pages, but it looks like Sally hasn't done really too much in this course so far. Now, how do you read this? There's lots of information. Obviously, the left column shows the time, down to the very minute that Sally did whatever she did in this log record. User full name, obviously, this will say Sally for all of these because we've told it to limit records that Sally did. But this affected user is less intuitive. A lot of times, a user will do something that has an effect on another user. For example, a teacher will grade a quiz or will update a grade slot on another user. But students can do this as well. When a student runs a report, when a student looks at her own logs, she's, according to Moodle, she's doing an action that affects another student herself. And we can see that in this row, that Sally did something that affected herself. Namely, she viewed her own logs. So that's what affected user means. The event context will tell us where Sally did this action. All of these will say the Latin 2 KET training course, or some module inside this course, such as a quiz, the student orientation quiz, or any other resource or activity or module inside this course. The component is what kind of action it was, what kind of component it was, whether it's a quiz or whether she ran a log report of her own activity. Or whether she did something on the course page, like just viewed the course or looked at a particular section. The event name is more specifically what she did. For example, in this row, Sally clicked on the student orientation quiz and viewed one of her attempts. If you actually click on this link, Moodle will open up a window where you can actually see the exact page that Sally looked at. Here we can see Sally's attempts, something she didn't submit, she's in progress still, but this is what Sally looked at when she performed this action reflected in this report. The description tries to put her action in human-friendly language. Moodle does an okay job with this, but for some reason, they refer to the users as numbers, the courses as numbers, the modules as their ID numbers. So this is not quite as useful as it could be for us. You probably won't be able to glean much information from this description that Moodle provides. The origin, this will probably say web, that Sally accessed Moodle from a web browser and performed her actions via a web browser. And finally, the IP address that Sally used. So if Sally works sometimes from school, it will show one IP, and then if she works another day from home, it will show a different IP address. Moodle offers some further information about an IP address. If you click on that, it will bring up a map, and Moodle will attempt to locate that IP address. It's not very specific. For example, we probably wouldn't be able to tell whether she did it in Lexington or Louisville based on this map. But we can at least tell if somehow someone in India was logging in as Sally and accessing the course would be able to see that here, and it would probably raise a flag that there's some unauthorized access going on. Alright, so that's a little tour of this log report. Again, this is probably the most useful report that you'll use as a teacher or tutor whenever you're investigating the activity of your students. But it's not the only report that Moodle offers. Let's look at the others as well. The next one's called Live Logs. This is very similar to the regular logs report, but it updates every 60 seconds with the activity that's occurred in real time in this course. Notice that the only activity listed here is the activity that I have performed while looking at these logs inside this tutorial. And if we waited here long enough, we would see that it would update and perhaps list some more recent activity that I've done. But this is useful if you want to see what is happening in your course, what users are doing in your course right now. The next report is called the Activity Report. And this is a different kind of report. It's structured in a way that's similar to the structure of your course. Notice that it's organized according to the sections, each lesson in this course, and under each lesson, it lists all of the activities and resources in that section. This can be useful if you want to look at a particular lesson to see how much activity has occurred with the resources and activities in that section. For example, the very first section is the kind of the general topic that appears on every page. We can see that 6 people have viewed the virtual classroom recordings. 5 have actually clicked on the Latin 102 virtual classroom. And we can also see that the last access, when the last access was, it'll tell us, 27 days ago was the last time that someone clicked on that and viewed it. This is useful, for example, if we look at the student orientation quiz. Well, there have been 10 views of it. That doesn't mean that 10 different students have clicked on it. Maybe it's just one student who clicked on it 10 times. But there have been 10 views, 10 times that someone clicked on it to look at it. And the last time it happened was just 3 minutes ago when I viewed Sally's attempt on it. The course participation report is another kind of report that helps us whenever we ask the question, who has completed activity X? Okay, I've got this activity. I want to know who has completed it and who has not. Okay, so we're going to filter it according to what activity we're talking about. Maybe it's a student orientation quiz. I want to know who hasn't completed it or who has. I'm going to look back. You can say maybe just today or the last 2 days. I want to see who has completed it ever at all, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to look at, I want to see what students have completed this. And if I want, I can limit by action or a particular group of students, but I'm going to leave those alone. If I click on Go, it'll bring up a report for this student orientation quiz, and it will list all of the students enrolled in this course. Okay, actually there are only 2 enrolled in this course, but if there were more, you would see them listed here. And it will tell me, oh, yes, Sally has completed it, but Johnny has not. One of the convenient functions of this report is that I can select everyone who has not completed it and quickly send them a message. Hey, Johnny. Hey, everybody who has not completed the student orientation quiz. Don't forget to do that. The activity completion report lists the students in rows on the left, and across the top, it lists every resource, every activity in the entire course, and I can scroll to the right to look at them all. Now, because completion tracking is turned on in this course, as it should be in yours, the Moodle will keep track of when a student has completed a particular activity or resource, and it will check it off. For example, we can see that the ones that are bolded here, Sally has completed the Chapter 28 vocabulary activity. But the ones that are grayed out are ones that are not complete yet. So this gives us a really quick view of who has completed how much of the course. We can see that, about Sally and Johnny, even though they haven't completed everything, they've both gotten to about test 1 right there. So that's the activity completion report. Finally, the statistics report shows us in broad strokes how many hits the site has received. Looks like this isn't really set up even for this site yet. This isn't something that we'll make use of very much inside of Moodle, at least at the course level. So not really something that's going to be useful to you as a teacher or tutor, but I did want to show you that is there. Now, so far I've shown you from the perspective of well, from your own perspective, from the perspective of a teacher or a tutor. But what if you're a facilitator? What if you're a student? What kind of activity reports can you see? Because you can see some. Well, let's log in as a facilitator to see what she can see. Okay, I've logged in as Frida Facilitator. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the screen, go right back into that course, that training course we were looking at. And this is what Frida sees when she or any facilitator looks at a course. On the left, she does have a course administration block. She does have a couple of options here. One of them is the report. So notice she can see all of the reports that you or I can see. But there is one big difference. If we go to the logs report, let's get these logs. We'll see that Frida can see just what we were seeing. She can see all of the activity in this course, whether it's something that I did, or she herself did, or one of her students. Now, she will only see students from her own school. Frida won't be able to see students from a different school in this report. The live logs, again, the only students she will see are students from her own school, such as Sally and Johnny in this course. So for facilitators, the reports work in much the same way as for you and me. But facilitators can't see activity related to students who are not in their own school. So that's the view from a facilitator's perspective. Let's look at the view from a student's perspective. So I've logged in as Sally student here. Again, I'll scroll down to the bottom and go back into that course, the training course. Now on the left, I'll see that she does have a course administration block, but the only option are grades. However, under my profile section, she can view activity reports there, but only some of them. Actually, they look a little different from what we or a facilitator can see. Sally can view today's logs just for her own activity. She can see that today at about 8 o'clock she did one thing. And if she had done anything else within the last 24 hours, that would be listed here. But again, this is only her own activity. She can view all logs, all of her activity for the entire course. Again, only her own activity, no one else's. Sally has something that we didn't have, called an outline report. An outline report shows all the activities and resources in the course grouped by section. And with each activity, it will show her grade, if she's gotten a grade for that course, and the last time she accessed that. So just from one glance, you can quickly look through and see, oh, I've gotten a grade there, I've gotten a grade on that one, and she can see exactly what her grade was for each activity. So that's a useful report for a student. The complete report is also something that she has.
which is very similar to the outline report, but includes all the details for all the grades. It includes whether she is in the progress of an attempt. It includes all feedback, um, and any time that she has submitted to any activity as well. So a little bit more information in the complete report than in the outline report. Now, she does have a statistics link, and for Sally it is showing some data. Again, this is just her own activity, the number of times that she has clicked on something inside of this Moodle course. It will show it there and graph it for her. And finally, her own grade is listed there. When she clicks that, it takes her straight to the user report. So this is the view of Sally, what Sally sees or any student sees when he or she views the activity reports. Just to review, the important principle to know is that every action inside of the Moodle site is logged. Any action inside your course is logged, and you can view all of those logs inside your course. Again, the most important and useful report will be just that logs report. It'll help you figure out when students have logged on, how frequently they have, when the last time they logged on was, and also what they did when they did log in. So Moodle has a lot of robust tools for viewing activity inside your course.